Salam. So this next video is going to take a couple people by surprise, especially if you have never heard the term before. But I think it's about time that I explain my actual channel name, Indigo Voice. And in doing so, I hope that I can help others raise awareness to the potential and the hidden talents and the hidden gifts that they have inside of them, given to us by God. I am an indigo adult, and for those of you who don't understand what an indigo is, it is a word that has been used too lightly, in my opinion, because it has a lot of different types of interpretations and meanings. Some say that it is bound to the year that you're born. I was an 80s baby. I was born in the 80s. But some basically say that you cannot be an indigo unless you are born during these times. But I will tell you that my intuition and the gifts that I may have spiritually have led me to a newer understanding of what an indigo actually means. And what I hope to do with this video is to reach out to the Muslims and to other religious people as well, to be able to combine their spirituality and also the religion together in order to get a more larger picture of what is going on in humanity today. Indigo is it's a color, of course, a deep blue or purple that represents the third eye. And with all the things with the Illuminati going on, there are reasons to be concerned, because there is those that use this power of intuition and this symbol of wisdom in a more, how can I say, a less beneficial way for humans. But indigo represents wisdom and intuition. It is something that is an ancient knowledge that's passed down from Hinduism, the idea of the chakras and the different types of levels. And if you understand science, the rainbow spectrum, Roy G. Biv, those are the colors that the light will basically reflect back to us, and we get to see those colors. We now know that all around us is white light, but depending on the way that it reflects back to us and the different vibration and frequency that color gets transmitted to us, our brain then registers it as a color. Well, indigo is the second highest vibrating frequency in the color spectrum. The highest is violet, but indigo is the second highest, and the higher the frequency and the vibration, the more truth gets revealed in the world. So people who are indigos are people that are usually truth seekers. They usually feel very alone in this idea because they are able to see things that others don't see. They understand the subtle truth, and I believe that that's why I was able to see the truth of Islam. And after 9/11, I went on a truth-seeking mission, and I believe that God called me to Islam in order to become a voice for a new kind of Muslim. A Muslim that is able to see the truth of the Quran in a more esoteric way, and to not be so strict and rigid in culture and traditions, and more of a intuition and spiritually based interpretation of the Quran. So some of you will not agree with me at all because you'll look at me and say, what does this white American understand about Islam? But I will tell you that the certain types of spiritual gifts that I have and have always had allow me to interpret the Quran in this kind of way. So I know that I'm not alone, and I know that there are other people like that. And I guess I feel that we are heading towards a time where indigos are going to have to start to make a true statement and true expression of themselves and of their knowledge. And in doing so, you can help awaken others too. What's very important right now, because there is a huge agenda against Islam today, what's extremely important is anybody who understands Islam and sees it as the peace and truth that it comes from, really need to be somebody that speaks out in any kind of way that will help others to learn the truth. I have this YouTube video, I have a blog, I'm starting a WordPress to interpret the Quran for people to help them to see a different way of seeing these verses that are so misunderstood by others. But I really encourage, I'm just one woman, but I encourage a lot of people to start to do this, and especially Muslims, to start to show God in another light. If you are somebody that feels that they have always been very connected to the truth and somebody who resonates with what I am speaking about, then please, get out there and spread awareness, and spread hope and unity, so that others may start to see the truth of Islam and stop being so blinded by what the media tells them, because that is the biggest obstacle that Muslims have today. Is Islam is created as a scapegoat in order to justify the wars that they want to see continued. So Muslims are going to have to start speaking out about this, and especially if you're an indigo child or an adult, now you are somebody that has awakened in awareness. You have your intuition is more highly in tuned to the truth around you, and you need to be a voice for these messages. We're coming to a point where we can no longer hide from the truth, and we need to start actively doing something, or we're just going to be kept in this control situation that we are in right now, and we're going to see things get worse. And that is my biggest fear, is that if we don't do something, then mankind will feel very guilty that that the good people of the earth did not lift their hand when they could have. And that is one of the things that I know the Quran says, is that the angels, when they give your life review, they will ask you, what more could you have done, So this is something that I feel was time to talk about, and of course Muslims are going to be very taken aback, like, what is this? This is supposed to be about the Quran and Islam, and now she's talking about this spiritual idea of indigos. Well, I suggest then do some research and to understand what an indigo is. And if you're somebody who resonates with my videos and who have subscribed, you may be an indigo. And it's not anybody who's special. To me, what it means is somebody who has just chosen and used the gift of free will in order to unlock the hidden potential inside of us, to have a higher intuition and to connect to that part of ourselves that knows what is going on and does not pretend to be blind, deaf, or dumb, as the Quran speaks about. So an indigo is somebody who chooses not to be blind, not to be deaf, and not to be dumb. And dumb in the sense of not speaking out. So an indigo is somebody who is going to hear what's going on around them and be aware, see what is going around them and will be aware, and then speak up against what is going on around them. That is the key in Islam. You are, as a true believer and as a righteous person, you are obligated to stand up to what you see happening in the world around you. You are obligated to open up your eyes and to open up your ears and not to pretend to not see what is going on around you. So yes, this is the time to start to do that. And in doing so, we can help awaken others. And my hope is that we get to a point where more people awaken to the truth, more people stand up together against the injustices in the world, and to the lies that are being peddled in front of the masses, and we reach a clear understanding of each other, and we start to see that we have only one ancient enemy, and that is Satan. And whether Satan is seen as a being or as an entity, I believe it is an energy of falsehoods, an energy of untruths, an energy that tries to put illusions of corruption, and tries to get people to lose their faith and to ignore and avoid God. So, something is happening where the New Age has become corrupted. Some of the New Age wisdom that has been passed down throughout the ages has now been used to get people to go away from God. And what I am advocating for is actually for spiritual people religious people to actually now see the spiritual side of faith, and to combine them together to make you a more powerful believer, in the sense that you are aware, you are in tune, and you can see beyond the illusions that are around you. So that is my hope, for us, and that is my drive to make these videos. And I have amethyst right now, which is a wonderful crystal that God created. And I don't believe that these are just rocks. Amethyst is one that will increase intuition and increase wisdom. Just by having it around you, the vibrations are very high of this stone. So this is something to start to think about as a Muslim, and especially as a young Muslim that is not maybe entrenched in culture and tradition, but is somebody who is able to have an open mind about spirituality, and is starting to be able to combine their knowledge of the world and their knowledge of Islam and the Quran together. That is what I hope that more Muslims will start to represent Islam as, and will become a more positive representative of Islam, since we have such negative representatives of Islam in the media today. So yes, I am a Muslim indigo, which is something, maybe this is the first time you've heard of, but I recommend doing more research into it and discovering if you might be an indigo as well. So thank you for being with me on this journey, and hopefully this has inspired you to find out more about your spiritual gifts and potentials that God created you with. So, salam, and thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.